So there's a few things I just wanted to point out real quick, some few tips and different things that I've kind of learned and noticed over the years with smokers, and just kind of some things to pay attention to through the cook, and just make sure that you're always focusing on them. So one of them is the smokestack. If you notice here, my smokestack, I don't have big huge billowing clouds of smoke coming out. It's very clean, very clear smoke. This is the goal that I always strive for. I never want to put my meat on, even in the beginning when I have a smokestack that is not producing clean smoke. When you have the big huge billowy black gray smoke, you end up having just those really muddy, kind of not so great flavors. So clear smoke really helps to make it more of a pure smoke flavor, really helps the meat to be able to stand out on its own also, and the smoke just kind of enhances it as opposed to being an overpowering smoke. Most of my time is just spent right here looking right at the temp gauge. It's a little bit lower now than I like it to be, but that's just because I just had the hood open showing you guys how to spray. Always keep my cider vinegar close, have my meter block down there. I really like using the meter thermometers. They really help me to just make sure and monitor the temperature in the cook and how it's going throughout the day. Also helps me to make sure that I do not overcook, which I'll be getting to later on. Then there's my cup for the for filling up the water pan and drip pan as well. The way that you really keep that clean smoke going is by just having nice hot burning fire. Just keep it always burning, keep that flame always going, and keep plenty of air flowing through there. Most of the time, in an ideal situation, I would have my door just wide open, just like this all the time. You notice today I had to open it at first. That's because it is colder today. It's only 30 degrees out, so to keep too much cold air from going in here and cooling off my fire too much, I'm just kind of closing it to really help keep the temps up and keeping them consistent. You'll also probably notice that I have a pretty good sized logs in there, pretty good sized fire. At my elevation, in the higher elevation you get, when you have less oxygen, you also have decreased burn time and decreased efficiency. So you have to have bigger pieces to be able to produce the same results in the same temperatures. You can't hope to get the same result out of a tiny little piece of wood that you do at sea level and try and apply that at elevation. You do have to have bigger pieces. These are bigger than normal. Again, because it's colder out, I'm using bigger pieces to really compensate for the lower temperatures outside, trying to make sure that I have plenty of heat and keep things going. So typically, you can kind of see the logs I have kind of sitting right here. Under ideal circumstances in the spring and the summertime, I'll use logs that are half this size. But during winter, just got to go with bigger pieces. Gotta make up for those lower temps, and gotta make up for that lack of oxygen. I'm gonna go and just close this so I can keep those temps going. I always have a bucket right below my firebox, just so that I can catch anything in case something rolls out, or if I ever need to scoop out ash, I can just use my trusty little ice scooper to scoop it right out. I always have tongs handy. This is what I like to use to manipulate my fire with, move the wood around with, flip it over if I need to. Some people use shovels, that's fine also. And then I also just have some barbecue gloves in case I have to put my hands really far in there, keep them from getting burned. But also I use this for picking up the meat and checking it, which we'll show it another time also. Anyways, hopefully this helps, and we'll be back soon.